Well, I have not posted a video in a few weeks. Well, no, it's probably been a week or more. And yeah, life has gotten really crazy here in the last week or so. I don't know if you know it, but Hurricane Helene came through town Friday morning. And yeah, it has changed life quite a bit. So I was just trying to think, what kind of video do I even post? We are fine. Praise God, we are fine. We did not suffer any property damage or any loss of life or anything. We're just so grateful for that. But I couldn't just post a regular video being all cheery and happy-go-lucky because, wow, there's so much devastation around us. It's just, the South is a mess, y'all. I don't really have video or anything of what happened. I don't know if my husband took anything while all this was going on. I know he has some pictures, so if I get any pictures from him before I upload this video, I will put them in here as I talk. But so Thursday night we go to bed thinking, yeah, we might get some wind, we might get some rain from the storm that's coming. It's gonna make landfall in Florida, and then it's gonna come up this way, but it's supposed to turn before it gets to us, so we should probably be okay. We had just gotten a bunch of rain the last 2 days before that, inches of rain on top of drought for months. We'd barely gotten any rain, and then all of a sudden we're getting inches of rain. And so the earth is getting saturated, and the storm is coming. So we go to bed. Looks like we'll be fine, It's not really going to hit us with any kind of strength. Well, it did not turn, and it came straight toward us at 5:30, 6 o'clock. Well, maybe 5:30 or so. I don't remember. It's kind of a little blurry. Nathan was like, I should probably head into Greenville to the hardware stores he works for and, do some stuff there. Get ready for the storm, basically. Then he looked at the radar and he's like, no. This storm, it's coming. We haven't even gotten the intense stuff yet. It is red, headed straight for us. The eye wall was headed straight for us. So he decided to stay home, which is really good that he did. So anyway, power goes out at 5:45. We're just laying there, can't go back to sleep. The kids all end up waking up, and they're all, Peter, he's cranky because he's tired and wants to go back to sleep, but everybody else is so excited that they don't want to go back to sleep when it's not something usual that happens to us. So, we're just kind of watching out the windows a little bit. It's so windy. We're just waiting for a tree to fall. We don't really have any trees near our house that would fall on our house, which is good, but there's trees that could fall on our neighbors' houses, and yeah, just trying to figure out what's going to happen. And so finally, hours later, I don't even know what time it let up, but finally the wind, well, not even the wind died down, but the rain stopped. We were able to get the generator going for our fridge and freezers and that sort of thing, which I'm very thankful we had. Yeah, and finally, I don't know, later morning, again, I really don't even know. Nathan heads off. Let's see, where does he go? Oh, he goes to one of the nearer stores to try to get power there or get a generator going or something, because they're hardware stores, so they can sell things like generators and tarps and chainsaws and all the equipment that you would need to clean up after a storm. So now the storm has blown through, and so he goes off and trying to even find a road that was open to get to where he needed to go. Lines are down everywhere, trees are down everywhere. Every road has a power line or 2 or 5 tangled up in trees. It's a mess. How do you even start cleaning this up? Because you can't just go chop down trees or chop up trees that are tangled in power lines. That's dangerous. It could be live, all this stuff. So he finally makes it there. Cell service was also getting sketchy, so I don't even remember what all he did that day, but he ended up making it to another store and trying to get power there, and it just was a very stressful day. All of the stoplights are out, countywide, multiple countywide. We're in the upstate of South Carolina, and the entire upstate basically is dark. There's very few power lights on, or traffic lights on. So, I mean, nobody knows how to drive through a four-way stop. They think, oh, if one person goes, 5 should follow it, right? No, that's not how it works. So it's just very intense. Like, if you think you're going to stop for a stoplight, you're like, please, person behind me, stop, because you're going to rear end me. It's just very crazy. So we just kind of stayed home. Well, we did stay home the rest of the day. Nathan was gone. Finally the wind subsided so the kids could go outside to play, because they were just like really wanting to go play in the puddles. And I'm like, but it's still really, really windy, and a tree could fall because the ground is still so wet. I don't really want you going outside and playing under the trees. It's not very safe. So finally it subsided enough that we could go outside. Super soggy outside, super wet. I think we had gotten 14 inches of rain from Tuesday morning till Friday when it stopped. So 14 inches of rain after drought conditions all summer, where we would barely get an inch or two at a time, and then nothing for weeks. Like weeks. The ground was crunchy. It was so dry. So Nathan finally wraps up what he's doing at like 6:30, 7 o'clock or something, and starts heading home, and he's like talking to him most of the way home, and he's like trying to find roads that he can come home, because he was coming home a different way that he had gone. And he's like, every road I go down, there's trees and wires and trees and wires and trees and wires. Finally, and then there's also rivers between here and him, that are, at peak flood stage, overflowing their banks, flooding roads. So he's like, I have all these obstacles to get through. I can't get home hardly. So he tries a whole bunch of different ways. I'm like on Google Maps being like, well, this route might be open. Like, these are some main roads. This should be high enough over the river to get you over. If this river doesn't flood, these are different ways you can get home. So he's finally over all the major rivers, but he's like on this 2-lane road coming back home, and it's pretty crazy, sketchy. Like, people have cleared the trees, kind of like just ordinary people, not like state cleanup crews or whatever, just ordinary people trying to get places. They're chainsaws. So they've cleaned maybe 1 lane of the road, but like he's driving along, and by this point it's dark, so all of a sudden a tree will like be in his lane, and he'll have to stop, and there's cars coming, and so like an hour later or so he gets home, and it's like, please don't have to go anywhere for a while. But this process has to be repeated. Saturday he has to go back in and keep the store operational, and then he also did it yesterday, kept the store operational. And so it's just, he took Sunday off for church and spend time with his family, and so it's just been a lot. So like, our experience, it's crazy, yes, compared to like normal life. It's completely out of the ordinary, all that. But what is really crazy is like, we have it so good compared to so many others. Like, there are just north of us, an hour and a half, there are complete towns gone. They're just not there. The river came through their town and wiped away everything, and people have nothing. They've lost loved ones, they've lost everything they've saved their lives for, gone. And they didn't have time to get out. Like, there was no warning that their lives were going to be changed in an instant. And there's still so many people stranded in the mountains that can't get to civilization because their bridge washed out, or there's a river between them and civilization now, or complete highways are gone. Like, you cannot travel on I-40 out of Asheville. You cannot travel on I-26 north out of Asheville. They're wiped out. It's just mind-blowing to think of the devastation that happened there. When we got the steam storm, and like, we have so much destruction here, and it's nothing compared to what they had. We didn't really have too much flooding here, but there, it's all flood. Like, and okay, so also, like, I know this storm hit Florida, but I've barely heard anything about Florida, or even like Georgia. What is even, like, I even tried Googling last night, like, hurricane impacts in Florida, and nothing really came up. Like, I don't know if they even have damage. Do they have power outages? What does it look like down there? I can't find that information. All I can find, all I'm hearing about is like here and Asheville area. It's just crazy. We had just gone up that way last week to get apples. And to think that like there's so much got destroyed in just a few days time. Like we were just admiring like how lush the apples looked. The trees were just loaded with apples. Man, it's such a good harvest year. And like now no one can really even get there to get the apples, much less the apples probably aren't even any good. Like they had crazy wind gusts, and yeah, I'm sure so many of those trees are damaged. And yeah, so it's just been really crazy. So our power came back on yesterday, which is great. It's super nice having the luxury of power again. Not like we had the generator, so like we were pretty set. It's not super hard living here for us. Other than trying to find gas, because everybody was running a generator who had a generator, and gas lines were long. So it was kind of getting a little tricky finding gas. But I feel bad for those who didn't even have generators to keep their fridges cold. Like the amount of food they had to throw away. And I know so many people like they live paycheck to paycheck and they don't have the extra money to just go put back in their fridges. And that was the food to last them for the week or whatever. And there's nothing for the rest of the week. So there's a lot of churches doing free meals and different things popping up to help people like that who don't have anything, but there's just a lot of need, I think. And it's maybe a great opportunity also to tell people about Jesus. I don't know. I haven't really been out too much. I had to take Nathan something yesterday, and that was about it. And kind of makes me not really want to go out because it's just so bad driving that like you're like, ooh, I don't really want to go out right now because it's so bad. Yeah, I think that's about all I have for this video. I know it's kind of a little depressing probably, but I just wanted to let you know that we were okay and just kind of share our experience a little bit. Yeah, it's not crazy. Like, I know some people have like even crazier stories than us, but it is fine. A friend of mine has trees covering every inch of her yard. Like, she barely has any grass, but she's alive. She's okay. Her family's okay. But I mean, that's like literally 10 minutes from me, and it could have been here. You know, we could have had that kind of destruction too, and I'm thankful we didn't. And just one more thing that I was going to mention, just to kind of put this in perspective of like the damage. Okay, so our electric company services, 5 counties maybe, and so far they have found, as of I think last night, so let's see, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days after the storm basically, they had found 511 broken poles. That's a lot of broken poles, and that's just from our power company. That's not counting all the other power companies in the area. 511 poles. Their last record was when a tornado came through, I think 4 years ago, and they had like 200 and something poles broken. That's a whole bunch of poles, and they haven't even found them all probably yet that are broken. So, a lot of pole repair. And they also have said it takes like a shift of guys. It takes them all day to fix like 3 or 4 poles. So, it might be a while. So, I hope you are well. I hope you did not get affected by these storms. And if you did, that you're okay, and your family's okay, your house is okay. Yeah. I think that's it for today. See you next time. This is where a lot of trees have come down right near our house. Like, pretty sure this was all tree covered when they all came down, because it's bad. We just passed them replacing the poles.